How to handle difficult co-workers. Now, maybe you are working with people, difficult people at work, where you're having to deal with intimidating stakeholders. Maybe they're senior stakeholders, maybe they're your boss, maybe they're co-workers, maybe there are just difficult situations that you are having to navigate, maybe every day, every week, every time you go into work. And if you are, then this video is for you. My name is Laura Chattington, and I'm going to give you one of the key tools that is going to enable you to communicate more effectively in these situations. Now, I remember a time, and it was actually years and years and years and years and years ago. And I used to have this boss who didn't really interact with me very much, but occasionally he would come up to my desk. I was sitting at my desk, and he'd come up to me, lean over me, shout at me, tell me like, what's happening with this client? What are you doing on this project? Where's the budget? Blah, blah, blah. And by the time I'd sort of got my head into gear, he's like right there, screaming and shouting at me. And the thing is when you're in these high pressure meetings, you're kind of like, your brain just like goes to jelly, doesn't it? And you just don't feel like you can come back or say anything constructive or do anything. So he would come up, he'd ask me, fire loads of questions at me. I'd be like, and then he'd sort of go off. And that happened a couple of times. On the third time, I did something different. And what I did is he came up to me that time, started screaming at me. And the first thing I did was I stood up. I stood up. I stood up and I said nothing, but the first thing I did was I stood up. And the reason I stood up is it changed the dynamics of the communication, because he was kind of like faced right over me, and all I could do was like defend. But as soon as I stood up, we were at the same level, and he didn't have that advantage on me. Now, you might be in a situation where you're in a meeting, you can't stand up because it might look a bit odd. So there are other things you can also do. But if you're at home and you're communicating online and you know that you're going to have this interaction with this difficult person, then if you can, set it up so that you can stand up and have the meeting, because it changes the way you communicate. Now, the other things you can do, whether you're standing up or whether you're sitting down, is you can, again, as soon as you get that person, you're interacting with that person, the first thing you can do is think, I've got to breathe deeply. Before I open my mouth, before I think what I got to say, just think, take a breath. And by taking a breath, what you're doing is you're running all that oxygen to your brain. So your brain is going to work better. You're going to come up with better answers. You're going to be able to handle that situation. The other thing you can do, whether you're sitting down, whether you're standing up, whether you're face to face, or whether you're down camera, is change your posture to be more broad. And by changing your posture to be more broad, you're communicating this confidence. So you can shout and scream and do whatever you're going to do, but I'm going to stand here and be confident and have authority. Shoulders back, head up, breathe, and communicate that confidence. And then what it does, it changes. By changing your posture, then you can really change how you think, how you communicate, what you do, because you feel better in yourself. You have more authority in yourself just by your posture. So whether you're sitting down or standing up, widen your posture before you start communicating. What happens when you start leveling these things up, when you start sort of that non-verbal communication is like, I'm here, I'm confident, you've got more ability to deal with those people, those difficult co-workers, those difficult stakeholders, those difficult senior stakeholders, because you're being much more resourceful internally, and you're communicating more confidently. And then you've got to open your mouth and you can respond in the most constructive way. So change your posture, change how you communicate by changing your posture. Stand up, breathe in, change your posture, and then start communicating. And by changing your state, you really are gonna those experiences are gonna go completely differently, and you're gonna have more confidence, and you're gonna communicate with confidence. And I like to say is change your state, change how you communicate. Change your state changes how you communicate. So go and try it. Next time you have difficult conversations, go and try it and change your state and change how you communicate. Now, these types of tools are what we cover in the masterclass. And if you haven't registered already, go and check out the activatemycareerlive.com masterclass. And in that masterclass, we're going to help you elevate. We're going to use tools and help you elevate yourself in the workplace so you have more authority, you have more confidence, and you are really able to be on your way to getting to your next title upgrade in the next 3 months, whether that is promotions, pay rises, respect, reputation, building authority, whatever that is for you, getting a new job. Being able to communicate and elevate yourself in the workplace is the key to unlocking that next career upgrade for you. So if you haven't already, go to www.activatemycareerlive.com, and I look forward to seeing you there.